Chivalry, once the backbone of romance and respect, is now lying 6 feet under. But how did it die? The answer might be uncomfortable. Women killed it. Let's start with the basics. Chivalry was about honor and respect. It was about men holding doors open, pulling out chairs, and walking on the side of the street closest to traffic to protect women. These weren't just gestures, they were symbols of a deeper value system where men and women had distinct but complementary roles. Fast forward to today, and chivalry has been labeled as outdated, oppressive, and even misogynistic. Here's the irony. Women claim they want equality, yet still expect men to foot the bill, plan the dates, and cater to their whims. Let that sink in. You can't have your cake and eat it too. If you demand to be treated as equals in all aspects of life, don't expect special treatment on the side. Women today are more masculine than ever. They're told they can do anything men can do, sometimes better. They're encouraged to dominate in the workplace, compete in sports, and even outdrink men at the bar. Society celebrates this transformation, but it comes at a cost. When women adopt traditional masculine traits, they often lose the softness and grace that once inspired men to be chivalrous. So, what happens when a woman walks through life with the energy of a man? She's treated like one. You can't expect a man to hold the door open for another man. And yet, women still want chivalry. They want protection and respect, but they've abandoned the very femininity that made men naturally want to provide it. Let's be honest, women today have more privileges than ever before. They dominate in education and are heavily favored in custody battles, and benefit from affirmative action in the workplace. And yet, many claim they're still oppressed. How does that work? It's this privilege that has tipped the scales. When women wield more power and independence, they inherently become more masculine. And masculinity doesn't inspire chivalry, it competes with it. Imagine a man walking up to a woman at a coffee shop and complimenting her smile. In the past, this would have been a charming gesture. Today, it's considered creepy or harassment. Men have been shamed into silence, terrified of offending women by simply being themselves. Here's another analogy. Imagine a cat. You used to be able to gently pet it, and it would purr. Now, that same cat claws you the moment you get close. Why would anyone try to pet it again? Women have created an environment where men are afraid to be chivalrous. And yet, these same women complain that men don't make the first move anymore. Let that sink in. The final nail in chivalry's coffin is the rise of transactional relationships. Dating has become a quid pro quo. Women expect men to pay for dinners, buy gifts, and invest time and energy, all while offering very little in return. Men aren't stupid. They see the game. And when men realize they're being used, they stop playing. Ladies, you can't have it both ways. You can't demand independence and equality, then cry oppression when men stop treating you like queens. If you want chivalry to come back, start by bringing back femininity. Respect the differences between men and women, and watch how men will rise to the occasion. Ask yourself this. Do you really want chivalrous men? If so, what are you doing to inspire it? Key numbers. Men open doors 22% less often than they did 30 years ago. Survey on evolving relationship dynamics. 75% of women in the US are employed compared to only 35% in 1950. US Bureau of Labor Statistics. By 2020, 30% of all marriages in the US were between women who earned more than their husbands. Pew Research Center. Women are waiting longer to marry. The average age for women's first marriage in the US is now 28, up from 20 in 1960, US Census Bureau. 70% of women in their 20s say they're comfortable paying for their own meals on a date. Survey on dating behaviors. Debunking questions. But women like chivalry and still expect men to do these things, right? The truth is, in today's society, more women are adopting roles that were traditionally expected of men, such as being financially independent and strong leaders. This shift means that while women say they want chivalry, they also demand equality in all aspects of their lives, leading to confusion over what their actual expectations are. Why are men to blame for not being chivalrous if women are already taking on more masculine roles? It's not about blame, but rather about evolving roles. If women expect equality, then chivalry, which is based on traditional gender roles, become less practical and more of a choice rather than a societal expectation. Why hold a door open for someone who can open it themselves? Or why pay for dinner when both partners have equal financial power? Isn't the decline of chivalry just a phase? Won't it come back in some form? The truth is, the decline of chivalry is a reflection of evolving gender dynamics in society. As women gain more agency, their expectations shift, and the romantic gestures that were once tied to traditional roles are becoming outdated. Men are increasingly questioning whether they are expected to perform these actions in relationships where gender equality is central. Chivalry is dead, and women killed it. Think about it. We live in a world where women are encouraged to embrace masculinity, compete with men, and claim independence. But here's the twist. They still expect men to hold doors, pay the bill, and protect them. Let that sink in. Why would men hold doors for someone acting like they don't need a man? Why would they protect someone who shames them for being masculine? Chivalry thrives on complementary roles. Masculinity inspires men to provide and protect. Femininity made women the muse for chivalry. Want chivalry back? Bring back femininity. Respect the differences and watch chivalry return. Let that sink in. And remember, stay connected and keep loving.